Welcome to Bow News Network. We're taking a closer look at what's actually happening in the cryptocurrency market. And we've been seeing some very heavy shedding of the prices for Bitcoin. As we go into this episode of coverage for cryptocurrency, it's important to note that we are not financial aid or financial advisors. If you do need to seek the advice of a financial advisor, then by all means, please do so. Everything provided in these videos is purely for educational and entertainment purposes only. So with that said, we want to take a closer look at the drop in prices in Bitcoin and what the opportunities may bring for renewable energy. And it really comes down to an issue of industry carbonization and trying to get back on track with clean, effective, and clean renewable sources of energy for taking us to the next level as far as the cryptocurrency marketplace as a whole. Generally speaking, we're looking at solar, we're looking at wind, we're looking at hydro energy. That is going to allow Bitcoin to flourish. So these little dips in the market shouldn't really worry many investors, such as myself. I actually went out and bought on the dip, but of course I went ahead and used money that I really didn't need to use or really need at this particular time. And I always recommend to investors, if you are going to invest in cryptocurrency, you should always do it with funds that are not going to jeopardize your everyday living. It should be discretionary funds that will allow you to simply invest for long term. And of course, this is what we're looking at, Bitcoin for the long term. Right now, we're just seeing a rapidly shift away from the use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining, and there's basically an accord among Bitcoiners, Bitcoin hashers, that the objective is to get to zero emissions by the year 2030, and then also for zero gas consumption by the year 2040. Also, renewable initiatives are going to be key for us moving forward, as far as seeing the price go back up, and as far as being more monetarily driven for Bitcoiner miners to actually go out there. So let's take a closer look at what actually happened with Sichuan in China. We could see what was actually happening with the hydro dams, and hydropower is a key component of generating energy for Bitcoin miners in China. Now, with them looking for other options, the best time is actually at this particular moment, simply because the substitution for all of that energy, which was about 62%, they were relying on for hydroelectricity. Now they're actually going to be turning to other sources of energy, such as wind and also solar electricity. It is important for us, for those who mine cryptocurrencies, they're looking at the profit margins, and that is closely aligned with the cost of electricity. It leads us to really understand that even in the wet season in China, they were actually pulling in 50% of their hydroelectric needs, while with respect to the dry season, it was about 10%. So hydroelectricity was a very, very big component of the decision for Bitcoin miners to actually be in China in the first place. So where will they go now? They're being lured by cities such as Miami that has access to nuclear power, and there are other states that are actually luring Bitcoin miners. So as soon as we get incentives in place for renewable energy, then we will see that there will be a shift for more energy to be available to be to be available for Bitcoin miners to efficiently continue to mine Bitcoin. Now, keep in mind that last coin is going to be not going to be mined until somewhere around 2021-40. So we do have several million Bitcoins to go, and it's going to go increasingly harder to actually mine those bitcoins, and renewable energy initiatives are going to be extremely important going forward. Here we see a solar farm actually in Nevada, and this is what we actually need to turn to as far as possible sources of renewable energy going forward that will allow Bitcoin miners to continue to hash out all of the Bitcoins. Keep in mind that the current up to a few months ago, we were looking at about 17% of the energy was used towards wind. The breakdown was natural gas, 36%, 15% was for solar. As far as the share of hashers are concerned, we will actually have to shift out of less dependency on natural gas as well as hydropower, and shift more towards clean renewable sources of energy such as wind and solar power. So with that said, let's take a closer look at what some of the wind farms, amazing wind farms, which offer incredible potential for Bitcoin going forward for the next few years. We need to turn towards renewable sources in the area. Yes, so wind power is going to be sustainable and renewable energy. Wind power will create high-paying jobs. Wind power is a clean fuel source, and wind power offers low operating costs. Not only that, but farmers can actually turn to wind farms to lower their electric bill. And at this particular point, the United States is second behind China when it comes to wind power. Our top producing state is Texas, and it was actually spearheaded by a former governor, Rick Perry, who actually pushed several energy initiatives to move from 116 megawatts to 11,000 megawatts. And then Iowa is second behind Texas with 8,422 megawatts capacity. They actually produce about 37% of their electricity needs from wind farm turbines. And also third in place would be Oklahoma with 8,720 megawatts, and Oklahoma actually produces about 30% of their electricity needs through this clean source of renewable energy. So as far as going forward, it's important to note that the prices will fluctuate with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is here to stay. We actually went ahead and took advantage of the dip, and whether that's going to be a right decision for you, that's going to be something left to you and making a decision with your own financial advisor. But as far as taking a look at the full gamut as far as options available for renewable energy, there is solar, there is wind, and then there is hydropower. So the options will continue, and the great news is that as we move forward into the Bitcoin economy and it becomes more acceptable as digital gold, there will be more incentives for those who are heavily invested in the cryptocurrency marketplace to actually start investing and pushing and lobbying for renewable energy incentives that are going to make it easier, less political, politics, and a more open political space that will allow the very, very important job of hashing and mining Bitcoin, and increasing the options for adoption. So we hope that you enjoyed this look at the Bitcoin marketplace. We will continue to monitor the marketplace for Bitcoin, what the latest news that is affecting. We do know that many of the Bitcoin miners that are leaving China are now being lured by different incentives, by even the mayor of Miami was reaching out to hopefully turn Miami into a mecca for Bitcoin mining. There's also options for them to be going to Texas and other states where there's more of an open political climate, as well as clean sources of renewable energy that will be available for Bitcoin to help us recover from this slump in the marketplace and allow more increased adoption of this amazing technology. So we hope you enjoyed this special on Bitcoin and altcoins unfiltered. We will continue to bring additional editions of Bitcoin and altcoins unfiltered to you. And please make sure that you go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell so you can actually get more information about cryptocurrencies and other specials that we put together here at Bao News Network. And as always, I want to thank you for tuning in to Bao News Network for more information about what's actually happening in the crypto marketplace. Have a great day. Thanks.